Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of OSI Today, the podcast featuring news and views from around the Office of Special Investigations. I'm Wayne Amon from OSI Public Affairs, and I'm pleased to be joined by the commander of the OSI Center, Colonel Amy Bumgarner. Colonel, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
It's been a long time since you and I think, saw each other. This was, I think, back maybe last year or so when you were still commanding the schoolhouse, and I was doing a story down there for Public Affairs, and I got to have a nice little conversation with you, and it was an eye-opener for me to see what goes on down there, as it is an eye-opener to see what happens in the OSI Center. So I assume that after you've taken command of the center, even during these challenging times, it's been kind of an eye-opener for yourself as well.
It absolutely has. Yeah, this is definitely interesting times to try to command the center, something of this size, and basically doing it via telework a lot of times, It's really pretty crazy to think about.
Exactly. Now let's dive into the center, shall we? Now for our listeners who are tuning in who have never heard of the OSI Center, in layman's terms, what is it and what is it designed to do?
Okay. All right, that's a great question, because I think even within OSI we have personnel that are still unclear what does the OSI Center, often referred to as the ICON, the ICON Center, what does this mammoth command, quite frankly, do? The OSI commander often refers to the OSI Center as the heartbeat and the crossroads of the command. And the reason why is because, frankly, there's nothing that happens in OSI that the OSI Center does not have some type of involvement with. So you'll hear three buzzwords about the center. We inform, we enable, and we execute. And the OSI Center is responsible to inform OSI as well as Air Force and Space Force senior leaders on high interest, high visibility law enforcement and counterintelligence matters that are impacting the Department of the Air Force. But as well as we also inform downward, so we inform the regions and the field on information that shapes the operational environment. The center also provides unique subject matter expertise and specialized support to OSI investigations and operations for the field, but we also execute strategic mission sets to further OSI's mission.
You see, that's quite a lot on your plate.
It is quite a bit.
And you must be proud of the people who do it for you.
Absolutely. So we have incredible specialists, we have incredible straight leg agents, we have incredible professional staff, intel specialists that do amazing work day in and day out. So we're doing unique mission sets, everything from the insider threat management, offensive strategic counterintelligence, cyber operations, digital forensics, forensic sciences, polygraph, tech services, tech surveillance ops, tech surveillance countermeasures, the anti-terrorism specialty team, as well as the executive protection for dignitaries in the CONUS. I mean, we do a lot.
That's quite a litany, a laundry list, if you will.
It is.
Now, ma'am, in January of 2018, the OSI Center came about with the actual merging of the OSI, as you mentioned, the ICON, the Investigations, Collections, Operations Nexus, and Field Investigations Region 7. Now, what made their merger the right thing to do organizationally at that particular time?
Sure. So, as we move into the future to support the Air Force and the Space Force, we need to be more agile, and we've got to continue to break down silos. So the operations and investigations of the future will be more and more complex, and they're going to have a blend of cyber, counterintelligence, law enforcement, fraud, our OFCO mission. So combining the ICON with Region 7 was a big step in breaking down those silos and allowing for greater collaboration between specialties to execute across our mission lines. A step further, thanks to initiatives such as Spartan Citadel, are the stand-up of the national security detachments and their blend of agents with, again, cyber, OFCO, fraud, but all working together with our intelligence specialists to get after protecting critical technologies in ways that we haven't done before. So again, this is the way of the future for OSI, and so I think the merging of the ICON in Region 7 was the first step in what our future
Yeah.
ops are going to look like.
Do you think that merger was kind of just inevitable, the way things were progressing, I guess?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's definitely a complex world out there, and I think that we've got to continue to adjust and be agile and be ready for that. And this was the first step to getting after it.
You mentioned one acronym that I would like to just get clarified. You mentioned the OFCO. What exactly is that?
The Offensive Counterintelligence Operations.
I see.
So
Okay.
also referred to as 9Q.
Okay, very good. Now, Colonel, prior to the merger, the bonds between the two entities was clear, with the ICON serving as the command's information processing center, if you will, while Region 7 housed the command specialist who would gather and operationalize that enriched intelligence. Now that they function as one entity, how has that relationship been enhanced that you've noticed?
Yeah, so I mentioned this in the previous answer. I mentioned Spartan Citadel, but that's a great example of the integration of our specialists and where our law enforcement and counterintelligence missions come together to support that. So Spartan Citadel is the command's effort to protect the Department of the Air Force's technological edge. This spans from technology development to acquisitions to the fielding of key technologies. And this touches every aspect of our mission, from our fraud and corruption branch to our technology protection branch and support from cyber operations, high-tech crimes, digital forensics, and the offensive counterintelligence specialists. So it takes a synergized team effort to make this happen. And I've also challenged our squadrons to find ways to operationalize the information received from Spartan Citadel activities and develop target packages to get after the bad guys.
I see. You mentioned a key word, synergy. I guess that's a real a way forward for the center. It's got to be synergized with so many different areas of expertise and skill sets that synergy has got to be the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. But even with us being combined, you still have people wanting to operate within their specialty. And so as leaders, we have to constantly talk to our folks and remind our folks about the collaboration, the importance of collaboration, the importance of working together, and the importance of thinking larger than your specialty, and thinking and making sure that we're not missing out on opportunities to tap into another specialty.
Right. Now, to me, it would be, as a lot of people say, well, I'm a specialist, like I'm a public affairs specialist, okay? But you have to really adapt, as you said, and synergize with other people to make even what you're specialized in, I guess, work to its optimum potential.
Absolutely. And continue to be relevant, right?
That would be a key thing, too, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you can't just continue to work in your little rice bowl or focus on what we did 10, 15 years ago. Again, the world is changing, and we have to, we can't continue to think, oh, this is law enforcement only, or this is counterintelligence only, or this is what our cyber folks do, or this is what our OFCO folks do.
Right.
We have to look at ways where we can continue to work at cross purposes and work it together, because again, we don't have enough resources to get after everything.
Is it a case of doing more with less, or?
Yeah, but in working smarter, right? With
Smarter
the
instead of harder,
resources,
yeah.
With the resources that we have, absolutely.
Very good. Now, the term center itself, I found it interesting because as an official Air Force unit, a center is typically classified above a wing, but below a field operating agency. Now, the question then becomes, how was the integration orchestrated so seamlessly with so many physically separated moving parts between the ICON and Region 7, while both entities continued their respective missions at such a high effective level? That was pretty impressive.
Well, it's because we have tremendous people and tremendous leaders at various levels, honestly. I mean, this wasn't easy. There's still things from an administrative aspect that we're trying to get right, and processes that we're trying to get into place. But the incredible thing that occurred, just as you mentioned, is that the mission never stops, right? So even when this happened and when this merge took place, even though maybe the PAS codes weren't correct, and performance reports were late because the administrative tail didn't catch up with things, people were still executing the mission and still getting the support to the field, support done to strategic ops, as well as making sure that our senior leaders, both within OSI and within the Air Force, had the information that they need. But again, that is a credit and a testament to the type of leaders and the type of personnel that we have within here at the RKB, at the Russell Knox building,
Right.
but then also down at the squadrons and in the detachments.
I would guess, like any reorganization of a unit, there are some growing pains involved, which is only natural. But again, to do things at such a high level, to get through those growing pains and to really not miss a beat, like I said, is a credit to the people, because they're the ones who really make it all happen. It appears.
Yes, absolutely. It is always about the people. And so if you can take care of the people, they will continue to do incredible things. And actually do things that you weren't even thinking about and that you
Really?
didn't even think was possible.
They kind of surprise you a little bit?
Absolutely, absolutely. Every day it happens. And I think during these COVID times, we have seen that as well with our specialists and all our personnel have come up with ways to be innovative, think outside the box, ways to get after challenges. That if they were waiting on me to come up with the answer for something, we'd still be waiting. But because we have encouraged our folks to take risk, to think outside the box,
Yeah.
to try new things, don't be afraid of failure. And again, it's pretty amazing the solutions that they're coming up with.
Exactly. Now, Colonel, when the merger became official with a January 2018 memorandum from the Air Force Vice Chief of Staff, General Stephen Wilson, your predecessor, now retired Colonel Scott Kiefer, said in an OSI website article, the primary purposes of the center are to inform, execute, and integrate to enhance OSI investigations around the world. Now, I think you may have alluded to this a little bit earlier in the podcast. Now that we're well into 2020, how do you view the center's primary purposes?
Yeah, so the primary purpose of the center has not dramatically changed since it was established in 2018. We are still here and still exist to inform the senior leaders of OSI and the Department of the Air Force, as well as the field, and to support or enable or integrate OSI investigations and operations, as well as execute our unique specialized mission sets, which is in the cyber and the offensive counterintelligence realm.
Right. Very good. Now, before you assumed command of the OSI Center in August of 2019, as we talked about earlier, you commanded the OSI Academy, where you first you saw firsthand the many skill sets special agent recruits are taught. Now that you're the CC of the center, how gratifying is it to see many of those skills practiced at such a high level daily at the OSI Center?
Yeah, so, when I was at the academy, I told each class the day before they graduated that they needed to be ready. Because all of the case examples and vignettes that they studied and that they trained on, that wasn't something that they were potentially going to be involved with maybe years down the road.
Right.
The reality was, hey, you're leaving here, you're going to have your badge and creds, and as soon as you sign in to your first unit, your first detachment, your first squadron, and as soon as you show up to work, you got to be ready, because this is you. This is you're getting your first case, and it could be a suicide. It could be, who knows what it is.
Sure.
But you're going to be asked, hey, you've got to do a electronic notification report that's going to go up and notify the watch, and then depending upon the case type, that's going to kick off a lot of activity within the center. And
Right.
I don't think that our young agents have an appreciation of the visibility that their work gets by senior leaders, both in and out of OSI.
Right.
For instance, every suicide is briefed via email to the Chief of Staff of the Air Force or to the Chief of Space Operations.
Right.
And the senior note is developed from information that field agent, that case agent provides. And the majority of the cases highlighted in the blue and the red Commander's Read books are cases that are being worked by probationary agents. And so we have first-time DEDCOs,
Right.
first-time Special Agent in Charge, or SACs,
Right.
first-time superintendents with debts full of probationary agents running felony-level criminal and counterintelligence investigations and operations at Air Force and Space Force bases around the world,
Right.
and they're kicking butt doing it.
Right.
And so that, to me, is truly humbling, and it's really incredible that I get to be a part of it. So.
Wow.
There's really no words to capture how gratifying that is.
I bet.
But I see it on a daily basis. And again, and I think for the young agents that are listening out there, that your work is having an impact, and that, again, I don't care if you're on day one out of the academy, that you're making a difference, period.
Very good. Now, in 2018, then OSI ICON Center Director, Special Agent Aaron Yardley, wrote to OSI leadership that the center's Global Watch controllers were its unsung heroes. At the time, he highlighted how two Global Watch controllers in particular, their poise and leveraging actions were decisive in two separate life-saving scenarios. When you hear how center personnel respond to real-life situations like that with positive results, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, we truly are blessed with the best 1 Charlies in the Air Force. Their efforts, as Mr. Yardley pointed out, they have literally saved lives. And since I've been here, for the year plus that I have been here, there have probably been over 15 saves of suicidal airmen
Really?
that our watch controllers have. When the call comes in, they don't hesitate. They immediately go to work, and they start making phone calls. They start making connections. They'll get in touch maybe with the staff duty officer, agent who's on call. But it's really pretty amazing to think that these folks haven't gone to any formalized OSI training, but they step up every time to respond to whatever. They have no idea what that phone call is coming in and what it's going to be.
It's like a cold call.
Person in distress, exactly. But they step up and they move out on it, and it's pretty amazing. And we're very blessed as a command to have these folks on our team.
Yeah, and when you save a human life, I mean, there's nothing better than that.
Right.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
You have a lot to be proud of there. Now, as another year approaches, what do you envision the future holding for the OSI Center, both short and long term?
Well, definitely we're going to continue the integration of the mission sets to share operational information in a timely fashion. Greater ability to bridge the strategic and tactical to provide the operational site picture to the field and OSI senior leaders. That's never going to go away, right? And
that's a staple then.
That's a staple, absolutely. And again, as these national security detachments stand up, and they're not going to belong to the center, they belong to the regions. And so again, we've got to make sure that our communication and our information sharing is baked into these processes. So when information is gathered at, let's say, the National Security Detachment down in Austin, that if it's got a link that our folks up here at RKB, or maybe the detachment up at Hanscom needs to be aware of, we've got to make sure, because again, that's crossing region lines, and we've got to make sure that information is baked in. And how are we going to do that? And I think that is something that we are continuing to work on. And we've got a responsibility to share information, and we've got to make sure that we're always looking at our processes and getting the information to the people, to the operators who need it.
And what I say, I guess, like information is power, and when you have that info, you're powering that situation, and that says a lot for your folks, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah, I mean, I tell you, the folks here at the center, they care about OSI, they care about the mission, and they are doing their best to make sure that the folks in the field have the information that they need to be successful. And so they work hard on a daily basis, whether they're here at the RKB, or whether they are out at one of the squadrons or one of our detachments. But they're here to make sure that the OSI is successful in whatever way or shape that looks like, and whether, again, that's supporting an operation or investigation in the field, or whether that's making sure that our boss, the OSI commander, has information, or that the Inspector General, General Saeed, has information so he can answer questions in the Pentagon, or whatever level that is at. Our folks are continually working hard to make sure people have the right information at the right time, so the mission can be executed.
Yeah, I think that's important that people understand, who are listening, that the information has to be it has to be coming from somewhere.
All right.
And OSI is that organization that delivers every time, and that's got to make you very proud. That was the only last official question I had, Colonel. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
So the only thing that I'd like to add is that this has been an incredible command. Again, I took command back in August of 19, so a little over a year. Chief, I am blessed with an incredible leadership team with Chief Gow. When I first got here, I had Colonel Reifsteck, and now I've got Lieutenant Colonel Randy Pendleton as my vice. And then we all saw Mr. Angelo's retirement
right.
just the other day, but now the new executive director is Ms. Pearl Munt. Again, I am so blessed to have that leadership team around me, but again, going down another echelon with our associate directors, all the new ADs that are in, true professionals. Couldn't ask for a better team here within the RKB. And then all of my field level leaders, my squadron commanders, my detachment commanders, my superintendents. Again, just true professionals that I can count on them doing what they're supposed to do. And they're going to do it with pride. And I know they're going to do the right thing and do it with noble intent. And that they understand that what their role is. They're there to take care of their people, but also make sure their people have what they need so they can take care of the mission, so we can make sure that the OSI is the best OSI that it can be and what it needs to be for the Air Force.
Yeah, and as General Bullard said, the OSI that we need.
That's right.
Very, very good. Our guest has been Colonel Amy Bumgarner, OSI Center Commander. Colonel, again, thanks so much for taking the time. It was a pleasure to see you again, and I hope to see you around the campus very shortly.
Thank you.
And thank all of you for tuning in. For OSI Today, I'm Wayne Amon saying so long for now.